The history of Malaysia is rich and complex, shaped by diverse cultures, colonial influences, and its strategic location in Southeast Asia. Here's a broad overview of Malaysia's historical evolution. Prehistoric and early history. Prehistoric era * evidence of early human habitation in Malaysia dates back over 40,000 years, with archaeological discoveries like the Perak Man, a well-preserved skeleton from 10,000 years ago. The region was home to various indigenous groups, including the Orang Asli in peninsular Malaysia and various indigenous peoples in Borneo. Early kingdoms, 1st to 13th century ancient Malay kingdoms began to form in the first millennium, with influences from Indian and Chinese civilizations. The most significant early state was the Langkasuka Kingdom in modern-day Kedah, around the 2nd century. It was heavily influenced by Indian culture, including Hinduism and Buddhism. The Srivijaya Empire, based in Sumatra, exerted influence over the Malay Peninsula from the 7th to 13th centuries. Rise of the Malacca Sultanate, 1400 to 1511. Foundation of Malacca, c. 1400. The Malacca Sultanate, founded by Permeswara, was one of the most important kingdoms in the region. Strategically located on the Straits of Malacca, the Sultanate grew wealthy from trade, becoming a major trading port between China, India, and the Middle East. The Malacca Sultanate also saw the spread of Islam, which became the dominant religion in the region. Golden Age of Malacca * Malacca became a center of Islamic culture, politics, and trade, with an efficient administration and diplomatic relations with regional powers like the Ming dynasty in China. The Malay language spread as the lingua franca of the region during this time. Colonial era, 1511 to 1957. Portuguese conquest, 1511. In 1511, the Portuguese, led by Afonso de Albuquerque, captured Malacca, marking the beginning of European colonial influence in Malaysia. The Portuguese aimed to control the lucrative spice trade but faced resistance from local Malay rulers. Dutch and British influence, 17th to 18th century. In 1641, the Dutch, in alliance with the Sultanate of Johor, ousted the Portuguese from Malacca. The Dutch controlled Malacca until the late 18th century, though they focused more on their colonies in Indonesia. British colonization * The British established a foothold in Penang in 1786, followed by the founding of Singapore in 1819. By 1824, the Anglo-Dutch Treaty divided the Malay archipelago, with the British controlling the Malay Peninsula and the Dutch focusing on Indonesia. The British solidified their control over the Malay states through treaties, leading to the formation of the Federated Malay States in 1895, which became a British protectorate. World War II and the path to independence, 1941 to 1957. Japanese occupation, 1941 to 1945. During World War II, Japan invaded Malaya in 1941, occupying the region until 1945. The Japanese occupation was harsh and led to widespread hardship. It also weakened British colonial rule and strengthened anti-colonial movements. Post-war nationalism * After World War II, nationalist movements gained momentum, with groups like the United Malays National Organization, UMNO, led by Tunku Abdul Rahman, pushing for independence. The British initially attempted to form the Malayan Union in 1946, but it was rejected by the Malays, leading to the establishment of the Federation of Malaya in 1948. Independence, 1957. On August 31, 1957, the Federation of Malaya gained independence from Britain, with Tunku Abdul Rahman becoming the country's first prime minister. Formation of Malaysia, 1963. Creation of Malaysia, 1963. On September 16, 1963, the Federation of Malaya merged with Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak to form Malaysia. However, Singapore left the federation in 1965 due to political and ethnic tensions, becoming an independent state. Indonesian confrontation, 1963 to 1966. The formation of Malaysia was opposed by Indonesia, which launched a series of armed conflicts known as the Konfrontasi. This ended in 1966 after diplomatic negotiations. Post-independence and modern era. Ethnic tensions and the 1969 riots * In May 1969, Racial riots broke out in Kuala Lumpur, largely between the Malay and Chinese communities, resulting in significant loss of life. This led to the introduction of the New Economic Policy, NEP, in 1971, aimed at reducing poverty and addressing economic imbalances between the ethnic Malay, Bumiputera, majority, and other ethnic groups. Economic growth and industrialization asterisk from the 1980s onwards, under the leadership of Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad, 1981 to 2003, and again from 2018 to 2020, Malaysia underwent rapid industrialization, transforming into one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic economies. Mahathir's policies focused on modernizing infrastructure, increasing exports, and fostering technological innovation. Political changes, 21st century in recent decades, Malaysia has seen significant political shifts. In 2018, the ruling Barisan Nasional coalition, which had governed Malaysia since independence, was defeated by the Pakatan Harapan coalition, led by Mahathir Mohamad. This marked the first peaceful transition of power in Malaysian history. However, political instability followed, with frequent leadership changes and challenges. Modern Malaysia. Today, Malaysia is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious society with a diverse cultural heritage, heavily influenced by Malay, Chinese, Indian, and indigenous cultures. It is a constitutional monarchy with a unique rotating kingship system among the Malay rulers. The country remains an important regional power with a growing economy, though it continues to grapple with issues such as ethnic tensions, political challenges, and environmental concerns.